Uh, if you would have heard about this thing called Bermuda Triangle, I'm sure you guys heard about Bermuda Triangle, right? If you ever heard about Bermuda Triangle, can you type there? Yes, yes, yes. How many of y'all heard about Bermuda Triangle? Yeah, I can see people telling yes. Right, right. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I passed through Bermuda Triangle 7 times, my friend. Still alive. My good friend also been there, Mr. Lut there. We all still alive, okay? So what is in the Bermuda Triangle? We're going to talk to you about that in another show probably. So that is me. And another thing is that currently I'm a design thinking professional. That's what I am. I work with companies to design product, process, services, system. And also I empower people to realize their creative confidence so that they can design stuffs. So I do a lot of trainings currently with a lot of companies. I've been training since 2008. I've done about 100,000 people I've been training. And I'm also a keynote speaker in the area of design thinking, innovation, and also something related to leadership. So that is about myself, Doctor.
Oh, so interesting. How many keynote speaker presentation have you done, you think?
Oh, I never calculated that.
100, 200, or even more?
I think close to 100. Close to 100. Yeah, right.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. Very interesting.
But training, I have done, I think I calculated there, the 1,000 over trainings, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of presentations. So again, it shows I chose the right man to be on this show today with me. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you again, Captain Ariva.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Zuleika, for pointing out I forgot to record just now.
Okay, all right.
That's fine. So we are a little bit truncated at the beginning, but the meat of the discussion is to come. So it's still okay. Right. Okay. Then you've done over 100 keynote speaker, and definitely the one that we all can relate to is the word TED Talk. And you've done the TEDx presentation before, and I am interested to hear how does it feel to be able to do a TED Talk, to be on the TED Talk stage.
Okay. Oh, that's a wonderful question to start with. Actually, when I was called to give a TED Talk keynote, TED Talk speech, I was quite shocked because TED Talk is a big thing. Yeah, and another thing about TED Talk is they really check everything out. They really audit you, and they really test everything out. And there are some, especially some of the TED Talk, they really scrutinize on your slides, on your content, and every single thing. So getting into the TED Talk was a big thing for me. It's probably one of the milestones because I used to do for corporates, and my feeling at that time was like this. I was very excited. It's going to be TED Talk. Oh my God! But I was also anxious. You know why? Because I used to be a speaker who gives keynotes about an hour. But the problem with TED Talk is you need to squeeze it to 18 minutes. You understand that?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. In case people don't know, with TED Talk, they say the optimum presentation is 18 minutes long.
Right. And I was like, oh my goodness, as he did 1 hour, sometimes it's not enough for me. And it's like 18 minutes. What can you possibly do in 18 minutes, right? So I took the challenge. There's one mindset I had. I think I got it while I was sailing before, Dr. Azhar, which is called, I will first say can, and then I think how. Sailors like me and Lud will really agree to this, because we are in the middle of the ocean. You don't have a choice. You have to find a way to do it. And when they say this is 80 minutes, so I have to really work on it and then build it specifically for TED Talk. And was very anxious, very scary in the beginning. Let me tell you, yes, even though I've done close to 100 keynotes, but it was really scary. But once I'm done with the TED Talk, I was like, finally, whew, I done it. There was a feeling. Yeah, there was a feeling, Doctor.
Yeah, it must be an amazing feeling, an amazing achievement, because I watch TED Talk a lot because I
Ah,
love the content that they have, and then because of the short duration, the 18 minutes, then it's not too long. And I'm always looking at how people talk, how people structure their presentation and their slides and all that. And I find it very inspiring. So many great
right.
talks that you can watch on TED.
Yeah, really, really educational, inspiring, state
Yep.
of the art information you can get from TED Talks. That's right. Yeah.
Yep. So then, how do you prepare your presentation then? So not just the one for the TED Talk. I mean, in general for your keynote.
Hmm.
When we met, we had a bit of discussion, and I think we have a different way actually, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, your way for the benefit of people here. How do you prepare for a presentation when you have a keynote to present?
Okay. So the way I think and the way I start the whole idea of doing a keynote is or a presentation would be first of all the topic will be told by somebody. They wanted to do something on leadership, something on innovation, or something on design thinking, or sometimes it's on goal setting. Sometimes they just want to listen to me talking about goals, or motivation. Um, uh, First thing that comes into my mind is the listener. It's always the listener. It's the audience. I would really want to know who is my audience. I really, really want to know my audience. Are they mixed, or what is their demography? And then what type of people are these people? I just really need to know them, because for me, if anybody can curate a presentation very easily, but the problem, if it doesn't, what we call, it is not relevant to the person that is listening, even a great presentation doesn't work. So my first thought is about me understanding the persona of the whole group that I'm looking at. The other day when we have to do this medic footprint, it was very clear. It's about doctors, and that's how I start. So from there, and then I will do this. I will do a research in understanding from their point of view what would be the thing they want to learn. So it is a long process, Doctor, for me to do that. Rather than me, there are a lot of people who like to go straight to the content, but not me. I am a person who really want to delve in the brain and the eyes of the listener and the ears of the listener. So I will create a map of who are the people, what is their pain point, why probably I will come up with some hypothesis. Why probably they are there to listen, what could be the underlying factor, and with that, Doctor, I will go and meet somebody who is similar to that kind of what we call that kind of persona, and start asking question.
Right.
I want to know. So my content it's always not from me. It's mainly from the audience, probable audience.
Right.
So that's how.
Definitely not the night before baru nak
Oh, no,
start
no, 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 no.
presentation.
It is a long process. It is a long
Uh-huh.
process. Sometimes I get scared when people tell me, Captain, can you do tomorrow? I'm like, what tomorrow? So what tomorrow? And then they will tell me the topic is something. Okay, if it is topic something similar, is no problem, because I would have had my keynote that
Something
I've done
before,
earlier.
right? Yeah.
But again, even though if it is tomorrow, it's for me to find out who is the listener. So that's the brain behind the whole thing, Doctor. And then I start building my thought process into clusters. That's what I do. I put it into cluster, and I know that there's always a beginning, there's always an end. There is there is this talk that I need to give. I need to give some frameworks and all these things. So I cluster it into certain cluster. So I don't think as a whole presentation. I think as a bubble. There's this bubble I need to think about. And there's this bubble I need to think about. There's another bubble I need to think about. And then I just leave it on the air, Doctor. Leave it on the air, and driving time, the design will happening. You know what I mean? Sitting down there, I'll be designing. Sometimes it's just chilling around. I'll be like, okay, let's take this bubble and think about what else I can do here. So the designing doesn't start from the slide. It starts in the mind first. And when you already filled up the bubble, I will have four bubble. Four bubble are the four things that four sections that I'm going to deliver. I already fill up all the four bubble. Then I get into the slide.
Okay.
So
yeah,
when
actually, they're not too dissimilar. I think when we discussed the other day, I was too focused about the slide. Because
correct.
actually my way is also the same in terms of the audience. My audience a little bit more narrow. I tend to talk to the same group of people, usually with the company. Therefore, the audience are a bit more. I know their level of education, I know their level of background, so they tend to be similar. But then again, I also start with what is the big idea, and then thinking of the little ideas, what you are referring to as the bubble, right? And I'm a sketcher, so I like to write. I think that's where I get my.
That's where there's a difference between me and you, Doctor. I don't write.
yeah. So I think I'm more of I need to write to get the idea flowing. So I tend to sketch what are my big idea and then what are my little ideas.
Interesting.
That's how that's how my brain works. So we all have our own different way of working.
But I think we agree very much into the modeling. The modeling, I think we are doing the same. All right.
Yes,
the modeling, you're doing the same. I think the end part is where some difference here and there, but finally it comes to the similar product anyway.
Yeah, that's right. And then you said after you have your ideas, you go into the slide already. And I know when we discussed before, you don't write your script, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't write my script. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Because I think it's because most of all the bubbles that I create, I will design myself. It's like it is my story, it is my experience, and from that experience, I create probably a framework. Because it's my experience, then it's easy for me to speak out my experience. I just have to remember that, okay, here I'm going to talk about this experience. So it's already in my mind. So I don't have a script. That is why there's no script for me.
Good. I admire people who can do that like you. I tried that before. I tend not to be so good without script.
Okay,
and
all right.
For me, it worked better that I write my script. So once I have
okay.
my bubbles, I have my ideas and all the sketches, then I actually spend some time to write word by word what I want to say. And then after that, I do my slides based on what I've written.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not so good at going on the cuff, as they say, right? Just
right. Yeah. But again, it is not really going on a cuff. It is just that I'm not good in memorizing. That's the problem. Last time when I was doing my nautical science, we had to study this thing called rule of the road. Rule of the road is the collision regulation for the ships. You need to memorize. Lut, I think you would agree that we need to memorize rule number 1 and rule. I don't know how many rules. Oh my God! Do you know something, Doctor? I struggle that. Really struggle. Hafal tak boleh lah.
Yeah, I don't know how my brain works. It seems I memorize according to the page. So I know this page is what I've written there. And then like the second half of the page, what's the content there? I seem to be able to map it in my brain. That
Oh, interesting.
according to
Yeah.
what I have written, yeah. So I can remember. Okay, it's there.
Oh, lovely, lovely, doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works, lah. Yeah.
Mm.
And then the second part is about the
Mm,
stories. You mentioned already about stories, and you have a lot of stories. And
mm.
how do you connect them to what you want to present? And also, I love the metaphors that you use in your
Mm,
presentation. I think
mm.
that's another level of skill that everyone should have in terms of connecting the stories and using metaphors, because we all like to hear stories. We watch
Yeah.
TV, we watch movies, we read storybooks. So we are ingrained, we are already programmed to like stories, therefore use it. And I'm impressed with the stories that you have and all that. So
Okay.
how do you dig out the stories from inside to deliver in your presentation?
That's a good question, Doctor. Wah, dah salah, soalan-soalan semua. Okay. First of all, I have a story bank, Doctor.
Okay.
I have a story bank. So every single time, especially probably maybe my job is like that because I'm a trainer. I already curated my story along the way, so I already know what type of stories work on which content. So, but what I do is that let me give you an example. How do I do that? Because it's always testing certain stories, and you need to have the mind of an innovator, which is you need to prototype and test, doctor. So
Mhm.
so our we have a lot of story, but there I would start with stories that is really crazily impacted me. Probably a rough weather, or it could be what we call pirate attack or whatever is it. I like to take all those epic story first. That's how I started. I started with the epic stories because epic story is easy for you to do the metaphor and you connect with learnings. Epic stories. So I started with epic stories, and that connected very well with certain learnings. And the learnings is always like I want to talk about what we call decision making. I would like to talk when I talk about decision making. I know one of my epic story is leaving the sea and starting to come into land. Oh, that could be the epic story. I just plugged in, and then hypothesis, doctor, just hypothetically plugged in, and then test it out. When I test it out, it works. So I will see the reaction of the participant, and then they start asking question and all. I know, oh wow, this story works. And then I became a little bit more brave. See, for us to use story, one of the thing you need to do, you need to be courageous enough to just pluck one story and try it out. So I tried the next story on decision making, which is how I got married. Now the word how I got married, everybody got the same story. But what I did was I knew that the way I approached my wife was a little bit different, because the story behind there was I need to do it super speed. So then actually that story was not for decision making. Actually that story I started telling what we call um, one of the most important elements in time management. Huh. So in time management, there's one thing called there's one thing that Bruce Lee said, that the power in the karate punch come from speed, not muscle. So to talk about that speed, I took that story of how I got married to my wife, and I connected that, and it worked. So it's all about just get one story. Don't go and find the story. Just get simple stories. I know you don't have ship story, guys. I know you don't have pirate attack story, unless you're Lut or me. I know you have wonderful stories like getting married, your first boyfriend or girlfriend, first rejection, just take the story and test it out, and then you'll get that thing through, doctor.
Right. When you say you have a bank of stories, do you
Yeah.
actually write it down somewhere, or is this bank inside
Uh,
here?
Actually bang in my brain. There's a lot of because I'm a trainer. There is a lot of stories that I already practice in all my modules. Because let's say as a trainer, you do a 9 to 5 module, 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So every single framework, I will have a story behind there. I even have a story when I went to Aeon Mall buying some clothes with my wife, and I create that as a story, and I taught people what is value system is all about. So somehow or other, you will just take a story and connect to the information, and you require that kind of creativity to just try. But it's all start. It does. You can start from the story, then you connect, or you take a data. Like, let's say you have you have something, you have a framework to talk about, and the framework could be, whenever you want to solve a problem, make sure you identify the problem first. Let's say that is one framework you're talking about. With that framework, you need to sit down and think, okay, identify the problem. What are the things that are going to go? And you just look for the story, and then the next thing is test it out. Don't be scared to test it out. And then you will get
That's
it. You
right.
get it
I
along the
think
way.
for me, where I have to dig out a little bit more to find stories. So when I mentioned just now, I've written my script. Normally, it tends to be a little bit more, what you say, a little bit more bland in the beginning. It's
Okay.
more about the points and all that, and then I embellish with the story, and then I see, okay, this part is where I should put a better story,
Right.
and then I think, okay, what stories can I put in there? And then another part, I think, okay,
Right.
what are the stories? And again, like you said, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. The stories, and you have to be brave, and especially when it comes to sharing about weaknesses and all that. I think we get very hesitant sharing about our weaknesses, but
Right.
actually it amplifies your strength. I know it sounds
Absolutely.
very strange, but when you share your weaknesses, it makes you a more complete person. I remember listening to I went to a talk by this brigadier general from the US, a retired a female
Okay.
brigadier general, and she was in Malaysia before COVID, and she was at Sunway doing a leadership talk, and she was talking about this authentic leadership, and so she was telling about all her fantastic achievement, and then she said, okay, let me share you the things that didn't go well in my life. And when she did that, it actually heightens her achievement even more. So she became an even bigger person in front of my
Wow.
eyes as she shared her weaknesses. So it's
That's right.
important when you think about stories that it's not only the positive stories, but the negative stories
Exactly.
as well,
Exactly.
right?
I agree with that, doctor, because most of the story, if it is more into that weaknesses that you have, it really have a different impact. I think because probably we are connecting with the listener, because most of our listeners are probably, most of the time the listeners will be thinking, oh, the guy in front on the stage is a super guy. Now, when you bring yourself down and tell, hello, you and me, same only.
Yeah, that's right.
And then they like, oh my God, he's same like me, then you really connect with them, doctor. So it's
Yeah.
important for you to have a story that is relevant. Once in a while, you can have story that is a little bit on the far fetch, but the more story that is relevant, it connects with them.
Yeah, and like you talk about a lot about decision making, and I think it's good for them to know in terms of career for myself, that when I'm
Mm,
making decision about career, there are times when I also don't really know what I'm doing. Yeah,
right.
you have your career choices A and B, and there is no magic formula of, okay, A is definitely the best one right now rather than B, because nobody can tell you exactly how your career path going to look like, and it's a matter of, okay, probably a bit better, and just go for it. Yeah, and we all have this doubt, we all have this moment when we are also not sure, and it's not just a smooth sailing, or no pun intended, smooth sailing all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we take some question. Does anyone have any question for myself or for Captain right now? You can type on the chat, or you can just unmute and ask us. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Just check the chat just now. So Abdul said that he also doesn't write a script, so another one in your camp.
Right.
The rest just comments at the moment. Any questions for anybody? Okay, so from Nurul Aisha, have you had an experience where someone cut you during you telling a story? Maybe Captain first.
Right. It didn't happen in a keynote, but it happens in a normal training. While I'm engaged in the story, bringing them through the whole experience, suddenly one person asks, cut. So I will answer to them. So I do that. I answer to them, and then I empathize with them, and then I will bring back the story. So there is a high possibility where when people cut the story, you lose the momentum. So you need to make sure that you bring back the momentum after the cut is happened. So that happens to me quite a number of times, because people are there are certain different type of people as an audience, and those people who require a lot of data, and you're going so abstract. Those are the people who will ask you certain question, and if you handle it well, it'll be good, no problem. That's my take, Doctor.
Okay, yeah, same for me. Exactly that as well. That if someone interrupts the presentation, the story, then you just have to acknowledge that and answer if there is a specific question to that, and then get back to the presentation. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So don't let the interruption really interrupt your
Correct.
presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Deal with
right.
it and then move on. Yeah. Okay. Okay, there's another question there from Huijan. I understand stories stick better. Are there any other approaches which you have found work without using stories?
I think frameworks works quite well. Frameworks, like if you want to come out with a framework like 5 steps in designing, then you come up with a thing called CLAPS, claps. C stand for this, L stand for this, A stand for this, P stand for this, S stand for this, and that stays also. That's quite a good way of engaging with the people. At the end of the day, you can come back to that with that one framework by talking to them about the framework, and it stays with them too. Not just going with data and data and data and data, put it into some kind of a pattern so that people can remember. They know when they leave the keynote, they remember probably a word called claps, or a word called small, a word called smart, or something like that. That will have help.
Okay. Oh, that's a good suggestion. I've never tried that. Okay.
You should try that, because to put everything in perspective, if you were to say that there is 5 strategy, but that 5 strategy doesn't have a word behind there, it's difficult for people to remember. Just put a word behind there, wonderful already. So that's the thing.
Okay, people like acronym.
Yeah, correct. And I have another technique that I use, which is called anchoring technique. By using one simple word, and I will again and again repeat that same word from the beginning until to the end, and somehow or other they will like remember the word. They see you, they will remember you. There's another technique that you use, and that is very powerful technique I've been using, Doctor. And it's like if I were to talk about something about time management, I'll talk about speed. And the way I use the word speed is speed, like that, you know. So everybody say what is so important? Speed. Now everybody will say
Okay,
speed.
I already remember now.
You saw that. You said that. And then when I'm talking about something, and then what is so important about our life is speed. And they will remember that one word called speed. And the next time they will see you, Captain Ariva, Captain Ariva, speed. So you need to be, so this requires a lot of designing. Huh? You really need to read a lot and design it well so that that one word is very powerful.
And a lot of courage to try it too.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and to that, I also tell my team especially that when I'm presenting, normally I am testing something new today. That I'm trying to maybe with my slides, for example, I'm trying it this way to see does it have a better impact or no impact. Just see the reaction. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And similarly, in terms of my presentation, or is today a little bit more shorter in terms of my stories and a little bit more factual, for example. And so be brave about testing, and because actually we don't really know what's the best for our audience, and we have to do the A/B testing. I would say, see
right
or not what can. There was one period when with my team, more for our own entertainment, that we were putting in the title song of famous artists into our presentation.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
And funnily enough, now and again some people catch it and they would like, were you putting songs in your
Interesting.
It's a challenge for us as well, the one preparing it, because we are having to think, how am I going to insert a Michael Jackson song in my
wow.
so, okay, we got a few more questions here, a couple more questions from Jasprit. How do you manage challenging question after your presentation which you didn't anticipate, and do you have a structure how to answer challenging question?
Okay, wow. Challenging question. So the thing is, if you are an expert of your content, don't worry about it. You just try answering. First of all, what I'll do is challenging question. I will ask them back to clarify. That is the first thing that I do. What are you trying to find out? May I know, is this the thing that you want to know? Then you need to be an expert to answer. So if you are a subject matter expert, you would know what to answer along the way. But if you're not a subject matter expert, if you don't know the answer, it's important to tell them also, I'm so sorry, I can't answer you. But I think that you can find some information about this through here. So you need to be honest about it. It's so important not to lie, not to, I think in Malay we say goreng, you know. Some people will do that, and when you see, the problem is when you are doing a keynote, you got a lot of participants in front of you, you know. Minimum about less than 50. I've done a keynote up to 1,000 people in my class. So you goreng one time, somebody inside there, 10% of the people, they know they are started ready lah. Goreng already. So if you don't know, if you don't know, say you don't know. But if you are doing a topic, make sure you are a subject matter expert. Like me, I will only do keynotes that is my expertise. If you want to tell me to, Doctor, if you were to call me and tell me, Captain, can you do a keynote on customer service? I'm sorry, Doctor, that's not, I don't know about customer service. I only know custom because I was working on board ship. So if it is not my cup of tea, I will never get into the topic. So prepare yourself, and if you're an expert, the answer will come. The answer will come. You will use some kind of your thinking process to answer that question. That's my way of answering.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And in relation to business presentation, I wanted to add that whatever data that you put on your slide as you're presenting your, let's say, presenting the performance for this month and all that, make sure you understand what does those data mean, where it came from, so that you're able to answer when the difficult questions come later. So more
Right.
from the business side. Sometimes we have to do business presentation, so don't put things that you don't understand, because then it's look silly afterwards, not being
exactly right.
Discuss them. Yeah. Okay. We have another question from Aisha, from Nurul Aisha. How do you handle a person who says, I can read everything that you write, I can read everything that you write presenting, something like that, and they say things like, tell me something I don't know.
Interesting.
Ini memang susah.
You will find one or two people like that. I have a few other people in the class or in the keynote. So it's important for us to do two things in the beginning. It's very important to do two things in the beginning, which is to set the stage right in the beginning. You need to set the momentum of your talk. It's so important. And number two, you need to set the expectation in the beginning. There are some people, there is a lot of creative way to do that. One of the, it depends on who's the audience. I will go in and I'll sometimes say, there are 3 types of people in this classroom, and I want to know how many of you are like that. Number one here, he really knows every single thing about this topic, and he's an expert, super duper expert. Please put up the hand if you are this category. Then they will put up.
And then they walk out.
then they will say, this is okay. They say, okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for being here. Please bear with me. Okay, before that, then I'll check another 2. Who are the people here got this knowledge, but a little bit here, a little bit there? How many of you are like that? Then there'll be a few people will be picking up. And then there'll be the last people who will be, who really knew and don't know anything about presentation skill, and you really want to know every single thing about presentation. Please put up your hand. And when they put up, and then you really calculated, found out that, oh, this is the story that I have in this room. 70% of them are new, 20% of them are 50-50. That 10% coconut sitting down there want to do want to do something to me in my life lah. Okay. So I say that, guys, there's 70% of you gonna learn. So the 10% who is an expert, I know you got a question. I'm gonna do for the 70%. 10% you got a question. Later, come and see me. I'll do that. So that is managing expectation very well in advance. Then you won't have this kind of a problem, Aisha. That's my take. It's very important to set the stage.
Yeah, and I wonder whether Aisha is talking more in internal meetings and internal meeting in terms of your manager. Maybe you have to present to your manager and all that. You have to understand their personality and what they like. Obviously some people like more detail, some wants an overview first, some a mixture of that overview and then go into detail of certain stuff. So you have to understand what they want. So going back to what we discussed right in the beginning, who's the audience, right? Understanding your audience is very important, and it includes what are their style. Yeah. So if their style is if it's to your manager, senior management, and their style is overview, then you go with that. Even if you're a detailed person, you need to adapt to their style, not them adapt to your style. Because
your style, yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay. Where was it just now? Okay, another question here is from Kishan. How do you deal with monotony during presentation? He feels that being nervous makes him more monotonous.
Oh, wow.
Or be more fast. I think when you're nervous, you become fast and just go la 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 la.
Okay. I think monotony is you need to practice how to create that different type of tone when you are presenting. It comes with practice. I think Kishan, is it that asked
Yeah,
the question?
sure.
Yeah, you need to do a lot of practice in doing that, and it's important for you to get somebody to see whether you're improving on your tone or not, because there is a high possibility for people who are not used to doing presentation, you will be caught into the monotony. You will be caught into monotony, and the only way to come out from the monotony is to really practice and make your tone a little bit better and all. And when you practice a lot and you fine tune your intonation and your tonality, you will find out that the more you are brave, the better you are in presenting with style. So that comes in along the way. So it's a lot of practice, Kishan. So that's what you need to do.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's not only tone, the
Yeah,
volume, and
volume.
your pacing, right? So you can
Yep.
go a bit slow, a bit faster, and then what you can also think about is to record yourself. Record
Yes. Wow,
yourself and
that's right.
see and then practice. And I really agree with having someone to give feedback. So find someone who you trust, a friend, a good colleague, to say how did I do today in my presentation? Was it a little bit better? I was trying to improvise my tonality. Did it show, or was it still monotonous? Yeah. So that's I agree with Captain. There's no shortcut, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Practice, and need to get some feedback about it. Yeah.
Mm.
And if you do want to invest, there are also voice coaches around. Yeah. So they really specialize on this,
Oh
how to
yes,
improve
that's
your
right.
voice control. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. And a comment from Abdul just now about people who are questioning our presentation. So you can also cite your sources in your slides so that they know you're not just talking rubbish. And then let to see, you want to do your coconut. Thank you. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's it. No more question for now. Okay.
Okay.
That was good. Yeah, some very good questions. So please keep them coming. Yeah, we still have about 10 minutes to go. And the next question for you, Captain. Do you still get nervous these days?
Let
Do you
me
get
tell
nervous
you.
tonight?
Let me tell you my secret. Okay, everybody listen. If it comes to keynote, I still get nervous, even though 100. But training, I don't get nervous, because training is a different story. There is a different way that you design the training, and you don't get nervous on the training. But keynote, until now, even though a simple keynote, even though it could be children's, I will be talking to children, I get nervous. But I have a strategy to take the nervousness out in the first 15 seconds.
15 seconds, right? Okay, take
15
note,
seconds.
everyone.
I have a
Take note.
I learned this from my one of my best friends. His name is Suresh Kumar Dawan. He's the reason why I'm a trainer. I start training because I've seen him training, and I was like, wow, this is an amazing person, and I really need to be like him. And he's basically my mentor when it comes to training. Okay, so then I learned from him that one technique. The first thing that you need to do when you start your keynote, never talk about yourself. You see, a lot of people do that. My name is Captain Ariva. I used to be a captain. I used to sail around the world. This is my credential. Oh my God, that is a no, no, no. I really tell you, if you guys want to change something in your presentation, the first thing you're going to do is, this is the answer, engage with your audience immediately when you go on stage. That's the first thing that you do. You engage with your audience. You need to be creative in this. How you want to engage is up to you. You can start with, this is my name, how you gonna call me? You see, how you gonna call me itself engaging already. That's what I do. Every single time when I put my name on the slide, this is my name. How you gonna call me? Some people say Captain, they say Ariva, and say, okay, you can call me Captain, you can call me Ariva, you can call me Ariva, Ariva. And then the next thing is, how many of you all here are very excited? You can't sleep last night because you're going to come to listen to this keynote. Please put up your hand. I will do that. I will do this engagement in the beginning. When I do that, it really is reducing your nervousness, because the people are responding. You know why this happened? Because it all started from school time, When we are in school, you know what will happen? When we are with our Guru Besar, headmaster, yeah. when the Guru Besar asks, when we talk to our headmaster, the headmaster will never answer. He just look at you. He will look at you one kind. And that creates nervousness. When people are not responding, oh, wow, the nervousness is very high. So please start with engagement and do not ask difficult question like, what is the accuracy rate of ChatGPT? How many of you can answer? Hello. You ask that kind of technical question, people are not going to answer. Ask very.
Answer. Let me ask ChatGPT.
Ask a very simple question. How many of you all had breakfast? Please put up your hand. People will. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I tell you. And I go crazy. The other day, you would have seen me, doctor. I don't start by talking. I will start by doing something else, not related. Jump here, jump there, hold the fellow's hand, give them high five, all those things. And by that time, people already, they are transferring back energy to you. And that time after that, then you start. Your nervousness will reduce already. So that's my technique. Ooh, secret is out.
Awesome. That is really good. I'm gonna try some of that next time.
Right.
But same like you. I also still get nervous, and people ask me, "Do you get nervous?" Even in the internal company meeting, I say yes, because that's human nature. And like you said, you need to find a way to control it fast. You will be nervous as you get up there, but you need to get comfortable as soon as possible. And another technique that I learned in a course is to very similar to you, asking question to the audience, asking questions where the answer will be yes. Therefore, you want to
yes. Oh, wow.
to get them into a. Because when you think about yes, you're in a good mood, you're in a positive mind. So the audience are in a positive mood, and it helps calm you down as well. So in this training, they said, try to find 3 questions that they will answer yes to. So for example, some of you have had to travel long distance to get here. So therefore, nobody can question that question really, because some of them will have traveled far. So the answer will be yes. No. Simple things like that, where the answer will be yes, to get them in a positive mood, and then in that sense calm you down as well.
Yeah. That's right. I agree with you. Lovely, doctor. We're doing these similar things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think we had some. Move on to the next question that we prepared, and I think related a little bit about voice control and how we behave on stage and all that. What's how do you control your body language, Captain Ariva? I think.
This is my biggest.
You're controllable actually.
This is my biggest problem, doctor.
I was going to say, maybe you're not the right person for this.
I'm not the right person for this. Okay, to tell you the truth, everybody got their own style. First of all, you need to find your style. I have found my style. My style is I'm a humorous person. So I found that I'm not the serious speaker. I'm always on the humorous side. So if you're a serious speaker, you might require to learn certain positive body language. So I know this is my style. And when I'm on stage, doctor, I have a problem. I'm not a person who stand there, but I'm like a horse, I'll be running to the left, running to the right, gracefully dancing and doing this because that's my style. And I have this mindset in myself, which is that I'm gonna have fun. Mampus lang korang. You understand what I'm saying? I say that I really gonna have fun. I'm not sure about you, but I'm gonna have fun. And that really transcends the energy to the audience. I found out that everybody wants to have fun. And when you start with the fun mode, you do not require to stand in one corner and do this. You would have seen the other day, doctor, my leg I was kang. My legs spread apart. So that happened. So I need, that's my body language. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how is it. It shows that that is a positive body language.
Yeah.
It
I
doesn't.
think, like you say, whatever that is comfortable for you, that should be your body language.
Correct. Oh, that's
Saying
right.
that it shouldn't be the one like this, like it shouldn't be the closed, timid one, yeah. But find an open body language and find one that you feel comfortable. If I say that everyone must be like this, everyone must run around like Captain, then people will go crazy. No. Yeah, it's not your style.
Yeah, it's not your style. And I found out one more thing, doctor. I would like to add this. Your body language changes when the audience starts to connect with you. So when your audience is not connected with you, you become negative. When your audience connect with you, wow, you become super positive. So don't worry about your body language. Worry about the presentation and give it as much as possible to the audience so that the audience will give you the feedback. I tell you, the body language will open by itself.
Yes, that's right. You're energized by it. And for me, one trick that I do at the start of presentation is to, if there are people that I know in the audience, then I would connect with them first to get that positive energy. At least I have 4 or 5 people that I know, and they're smiling at me. And if they're not smiling, then I'll be like, if they're smiling at me, then I get that positive energy already, like you said, and then I can scan the rest of the room to see, okay, are they also getting it? Are they also flowing with me in this presentation?
Lovely.
Okay, so we have some question and so a comment here from Abdul that he finds that connecting with the audience with eye contact, as many people as possible. Yeah,
yes,
very
that's
easy
right.
to
That's
fall,
right.
Just focusing on one or two parts of the audience. I agree with that. You need to connect with everybody in the room, with every part of the room. And I was reading up something over the weekend, and this presenter was saying that if you can 1.1 person, I'm like, wow, that's very dramatic. But if you want to practice that, it is possible. Maybe if your audience not too many, maybe 20, 30, then you can, every sentence you might want to move from one person to another. So good.
That's good.
We have another question here from Dinas Wary. How do you deal with audience that are not responding during the entire Q&A session? So ini yang semua tidur ni.
Okay. There's two reasons why they do that. Probably one reason, you did a super remarkable talk.
Yeah.
That is
clear.
Super clear. I had that, I like, sometimes I hit myself, I'll be like, didn't I do well? Why there's no question? Then one of my good friend, he told me, Ariva, it's not about you doing good or not. It's about the audience. Sometimes you'd have done very well. There's no question anymore. So there's silence. And sometimes, yeah, it could be a problem. So you're not clear, or it is not relevant to them, and they already shut it down. So probably later part after the keynote, you will see that we all connect with the participants, right? So during the networking session, it's important for us to find out, was it good, is it relevant, and all this thing, and then improve along the way. That's what I can say. You have
I find the audience in Asia, in Malaysia, are normally very shy. So therefore, I would say quite normal not to get any question.
Yeah.
Because they would ask later, one-to-one, when everyone has left, then the people staying behind to ask questions.
Right.
But
Okay.
to us in the big group, I find Malaysians a little bit on the shy side.
Oh yes, correct. Oh my God, you're so right.
Yeah.
Big group, you'll have a problem lah. Right.
Okay. Afzul have a question. So how do you deal with a questioner who has a very long preamble before the question?
Oh my God. Oh, I
yes.
get stuck with these people lah, doctor.
Like this
Afzul,
one,
I
you
understand.
wait and wait. Yeah, wait and wait. What is the question?
Oh God, I hope that there's only one fellow like that. That's the only thing. You can't cut them off, because it's going to shut down the. It will create some kind of a problem in the whole audience. The energy will drop. At the same time, you need to let them talk, and then probably interject along the way. So I can understand, by using that, I can understand your story, but may I know what is the question? So you need to interrupt, like how Oprah Winfrey does.
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey does it so well. When the person is talking a lot, and she just comes in, she agrees with the person. You are absolutely right on that, and I really connect with your story. But I want to know what you really wanted to know. That is the Oprah Winfrey style.
Oprah Winfrey technique.
Technique. Use the Oprah Winfrey technique.
I learned a few techniques already today.
Okay. And you can cut them off. You can cut them off gracefully.
Right, Captain. It's 9:35 already, so we've exceeded it. Do you still have a bit more time?
Yeah, I have time. I have time. No problem. I have more time.
So maybe one last question. There's actually two more questions we prepared, but let's go to the last one, because I think this is very important. The filler words, the and the and I mean, and so and all that. Yeah, we all have that, but you don't have any of that. So how do you kill your filler words? How do you remove that from your vocabulary, from your presentation?
Right. Okay. So I found out why there is filler. The filler comes in when you are new to your keynote. This is the first time you're doing keynote. I'm so sorry. The filler will come. Right. That's where we might need to use your technique, doctor, which is to memorize and create a script and then design from there, that point of view. But I won't do that. My style is I would like to really go at it. Never mind, filler, no filler, never mind. I will push it through, because I need to go through the whole keynote. Probably that keynote won't be the best of the best. It could be very good, but not the best of the best. And I will do the same keynote about 3-4 times with another group and another group. After the third time, filler is gone. That's the technique. The reason why you didn't listen to that filler is because most of the the bubble we are talking about, doctor.
Yeah.
Most of the bubble that was designed on that day was some kind of a bubble that I've already done some other place so many times. So when I come there, I know I'm going to take out this bubble, this bubble, this bubble, and I did, and I do the whole talk at that time. That's why there's no filler. So filler, like it or not, it will exist. Our job is for us to tame the filler until the filler is gone. That's the best way that I found.
Yeah, I agree. It's because when we are thinking, we have the filler words. When we're not sure what we're about to say next, that's when we go, yeah. And it becomes a habit, and therefore, like you say, I need to tame it. Need to tame it somehow. And one way I found useful is first you need to be aware what is your filler word. You need to be aware what are you using to fill the void. And when you understand that already, let's say you use so a lot. I use so a lot. So, as I'm about to say so, sometimes I can stop myself. My mouth is about to say so. I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm able to stop it, and maybe not 100% yet. The more I'm aware of it, I can stop it. And we also, within my team, we then sometimes we get each other to count how many filler words you have.
Oh, wow.
Direct feedback. You know, we're all wanting to improve each other.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
You still have 50. Yeah, it's about, oh, okay, now today you only have 20. Yep. And because we all want to improve, and it helps each other about the awareness. You need to have to be aware, and then you can stop the filler words. And I find it's one of the most effective thing you can do to improve your presentation. And when there's so many filler words, it really disrupt your presence. It really downgrades your presence when you have too many filler words. Therefore, and people don't pay attention to. Some people don't pay attention, which I find surprising. That's one of the it's not easy, but one of the most impactful thing to improve your presentation, in my opinion, to cut out filler words.
Absolutely. Agree with you, Doctor. Amazing.
Yep. Okay, so we have all then from the next very saying yes, practice make perfect. Yep, definitely. Practice.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Presentation is about it gets well when you, it's like wine, you know. It gets well when it age. And
it's about practice, right?
It's all about practice.
And you know the theory about it takes 10,000 hours to be good at something.
Correct. Yes. For you to be able to do that. How
many hours have you done presentation?
Right.
Okay, then we have already exceeded our time limit. Yeah, I don't want to keep people too long. I think that was a very, very nice session, Captain. Thank you so much. I learned
Thank you so much,
new
Doctor.
things today. I found about claps, about giving acronym to your presentation so that people can follow you using speed, for example. And then also about interacting with the audience early on. I thought that was a very good idea as well from your side. So those are the new things for me that I learned tonight. And I'm sure the audience has many things that they have learned again tonight. Yeah. So thank you so much for that today. And
thank you, Doctor.
From my side, I want to say that if you have any feedback, you can type in the comment. It would be nice for us, make us sleep well tonight. Me and Captain reading your good comments. So, and then I want to end to say that I'm going to do a presentation training. So this is a physical training in the middle of March. And before this, I've done presentation training, but only online. And this one will be face-to-face. And we can see how you are up there on stage in front of the audience and how you conduct yourself. And we see what we can improve. It's over 3 hours. It's at Iconic PJ. And I'll send you all the details, more of the details in the email later on. Yeah. And if you haven't connected with Captain, this is his LinkedIn profile.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. I wanted to show that too. All right, lovely.
Yeah, I was gonna get your. Do you have a website, Captain?
Yes, I do. Can get to my website. It is, let me just put it in the link here.
Yeah. If you put it in the chat, yeah.
Chat. This is my website. You can go and find what are the things that we do in this company. Through there, you can connect with me through Facebook, Instagram, and also LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect with you all. Please get connected. If you need any things you want to talk to me about, yes, please feel free. DM me, PM me, whatever. Let me see if I can help you. Right? Yeah, lovely. And if you
Awesome.
want to keep yourself learning more about presentation, if you're already a presenter or you're already a keynote speaker, I think it's good if you can join some clubs. There is one association in Malaysia, which is called Malaysian Association of Professional Speakers. But for you to enter, to become the MAPS member, you need to have some kind of an experience in presenting. So they will push you through learning and all this thing. Okay, or join the Toastmasters. Oh my God, there's another place that you can join in to build up your presentation skill better and all this thing, right?
Yeah,
And thank you
that's
so
right.
much. That's from me, right?
Okay, thank you very much, Captain. It was a
Arriba,
pleasure
arriba,
to have
ándale,
you tonight. That
ándale.
was awesome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right.
Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending tonight, and hope to see you again in the next edition of my webinar. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, everyone. You have a lovely night. Bye-bye. Thank you,
Thank
Doctor.
you.
Bye.
Thanks very much. So I think